An actor that could return to Stargate that completely surprised me and may have already been approached about a role. What his return means, though, is massive. Welcome to Sci-trek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So yes, I've still got a cold, so yes, I'm still a bit bunged up. And I don't want to leave you in suspense for too long. But I just have to explain that people I speak to at Amazon have told me that there's been a lot of research and a lot of preparation work being done for this new Stargate series. One of the things they did as a marketing and strategy plan was to look at the actors that have appeared in Stargate before and consider which ones would have the most impact if they were to return in some sort of cameo. Now, I did tell you in the previous video, Richard Dean Anderson topped that list. He would have the most impact and would be most popular with Gators if he was to return, in at least in some sort of cameo role. And I also told you, second on that list was somebody that really surprised me. It was Robert Carlyle.
So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, well, if you'd have said that to me a couple of years ago, I'd have dismissed it as superstition.
Now, Robert Carlyle is an actor I absolutely adore. I imagine he has managed to get on this list, not mainly because of the impact and the Gators love him, which we do, but I think it's probably more to do that he is still a very involved actor. He's still a very high profile working actor. And the way they put this list together was not just to look at sort of like his popularity with Gators, but how many clicks he gets on different websites, how many times his name's brought up in different things. So I imagine that's how he's got on this list. But the important thing is that Amazon now consider him to be a really important actor to potentially return to Stargate and a new Stargate franchise. I can also tell you through other sources that I speak to that this rumor isn't just a rumor and they might actually be taking this very seriously. But I will tell you about that in a second, because obviously the really exciting thing to talk about is that if Robert Carlyle does return to a Stargate franchise, what does that mean for a conclusion to Stargate Universe? Now, Stargate Universe is a little bit of a Marmite sort of situation with Gators. If you're British, you'll understand that reference. If you're American, not so much. But it basically means that we either love or hate Stargate Universe. I personally found Stargate Universe a little boring, but I could see that it was getting better. I would tell you that, like, I was a Trekkie when I was younger. Star Trek: The Next Generation was my favorite TV show on the planet. The first series of that was kind of boring. So the fact that I found SGU boring does not mean that I think the series should have been cancelled. It shouldn't have been. It was getting better and it was getting more interesting. There are a lot of people out there, though, that consider Stargate Universe to be the best iteration of Stargate and are still incredibly angry we never got a conclusion. If they are going to bring back Robert Carlyle into a new Stargate franchise, obviously that means they have to get him off the Destiny. They have to bring him home. Now, how do you do that? I have no clue.
I only know that Destiny has come this far. And if we abandon her now, there'll be no coming back.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our new videos. And also, if you want to become a fully fledged Sci-trek and you want to really support the channel, consider hitting the join button. And on this channel, we've talked a lot about getting out there and saving Eli. Eli was the one actor that we were pretty sure that could return to Stargate. He is still a working actor, but not particularly successful. And if he was offered the role, he would snap it up, I'm absolutely certain. Also, though, from a storyline point of view, I argued that Eli was the one that was still awake, obviously, and that if you were going to bring back actors from the Destiny, you couldn't bring back all of them because that's just not practical. I mean, we want all the actors and we want all the characters to be saved and to come home, but from a production point of view, it would be very, very difficult. So bringing back one or two and then writing into the story that the stasis pods were lost or something else sort of made sense to me. So we would get to see some sort of conclusion to Stargate Universe if Robert Carlyle comes back. But also, we would get the Rush character back. Now, Rush was a character that people love to hate.
My friends. Oh yes, perhaps that's an overstatement.
At very least at first, we grew to love him more. But the main reason why I was always such a big fan of Rush, not just because of the confrontations he caused, not because of he was quite a slimy character, but just because Robert Carlyle is a brilliant actor. He's been brilliant in pretty much everything he's ever done. He's just a likable, proper actor. And if they were to get him to return to the Stargate franchise, he would be a properly big name to get to that franchise. That is the main reason why he got the job in SGU in the first place. And he was the main known star in that series. So you would get somebody with properly good acting skills. You would get somebody that is a well-known name that people would recognize on the poster. You would get a character in Rush that is well-liked and sometimes hated, but at least you're interested by him. And you would get a conclusion to Stargate Universe. Now, is this just a rumor? Is this just fantasy? Well, no, because one of the people I speak to that used to work at MGM actually, but now works for a different agency within Hollywood, has told me that he is aware that Robert Carlyle has been approached. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that he would ever appear in Stargate. But it does mean that his agent has been approached. It does mean that he was sounded out about if Stargate returns, would he be interested? And apparently there was a positive response through the agent back to MGM. So that means Robert Carlyle was asked, do you fancy it? And Robert Carlyle went, yeah, okay. I'd at very least like to see the script, which is a positive start. Now, we're not going to get any further than that at the moment because we don't have any official announcement on a showrunner. We don't have any official announcement on Stargate at all. Through this channel, I've been able to tell you that Penguin and Parker, Mark Fergus's and Hawk Ostby's company is currently negotiating something to do with Stargate. We believe it is to showrun, but it might only be to develop a new series. We just don't know yet. And we know recently with things like the God of War TV series that Hawk Ostby and Mark Fergus are also going to be involved in. Again, I hear that Mark Fergus is really going to be concentrating on Stargate if they get this project, and Hawk Ostby is actually the one that is most interested in the God of War project. So even though they will both be executive producers and working on both projects together, they will be split in the focus. So until we get sort of that development, until Amazon actually decide the direction they want to take Stargate, because Mark Fergus needs to decide on a direction, we can't confirm that Robert Carlyle would return because they might not want him to. But at the moment, we can say he is at least interested. And more importantly, Amazon are interested because they know his return would have a big impact. And they know his return could lead to storylines that the Gator fans would go absolutely crazy for. So again, if this rumor is true, it really could answer some of the big questions left over from the Stargate franchise when it got cancelled. We could actually get to find out what the Destiny's mission really was, and more importantly, where the Destiny is now. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our new videos. And if you really want to support the channel, consider hitting the join button. As always, guys, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.